at 6 o'clock to order. If there's no objection, we'll just agree to accept the agenda as it is unless there's any changes. Hearing none, we'll move right along the minutes. I need a motion.
Motion. Second.
Okay, there's been a proper motion and a proper second. Any further discussion dealing with the minutes of August 27th, 2024? Hearing none, all in favor of the minutes of 27-24, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes unanimously. Committee, okay. Citizens' comments. That's not for the alderman, that's for the citizens. So we have Tyrone J. here. Would you like to speak?
Yeah, sure. Is
All
this,
It's good to see you tonight.
oh yeah, 2416 still on the books for tonight?
Yes, sir. Well, right now it is, but you're waiting, is that correct? For someone to say-
Oh.
Neighborhoods.
No, it's ready for
Okay.
deliberation.
Okay, for
Well, that's what I
discussion.
wanted.
Committee.
That's what
Okay,
I want to talk
right.
about.
Okay,
Since I'm
go
here for the other thing, I may as well talk about this.
sure, go ahead.
So obviously I'm uneducated a little bit. So how many roads are we talking about in this classification that fits this default speed limit because there's no speed limit signs? If like the answer is 5 roads, can't we just put up speed limit signs to solve the problem? Because my next point to that is, if you do degrade from 30 to 25, how are people going to get this notice? How are people going to understand? Is this going to go, what happens if somebody comes from Nashville and thinks, my driver's test was 40 years ago, so on my ignorance is in this area as far as what defaults are. Is Nashville, Gallatin, and Portland the same default as 30 is what we're putting on the books here? That's going to go to 25. Will other municipality people be confused by coming on these roads? Or these roads are in certain areas that are only inconspicuous to that residential area where nobody from other areas would go into them? What about delivery drivers from other areas? And to the point of how you get the notice out, so I'll bring up the past. So we spend a lot of time over the years getting the word out on code red this, code red that, to the point where Eddie said years ago, why not let's do an opt out instead of an opt in? Meaning everybody gets it on their phones whether they want it or not. And then they have to opt out if they don't want it. Why are you saying that? Because we can't get the message out regardless what kinds of forms of messages. So is going to 25 going to screw everything up? Or can we just put up speed limit signs? That's all I got.
And I'll address that when we discuss.
Okay.
Okay, good.
All right.
Great, Eddie. Great.
All right, anything else that wants? Yeah, I know there was couple of the aldermen that want to speak, but that's they're so high up on our list. They're
Well-deserved location.
there you go. Right. Okay. So let's move on now. We're getting ready to speak on that. Okay, we'll go on to the ordinances tonight, this evening. We are blessed to have our city attorney. Is this I think this is your first time here at our fellow court.
Well, I apologize
Well,
for that.
no, not at all.
Thank
We
you.
are very great.
Sure,
glad-
blessed is the word.
Yes,
that,
and blessed. I tell you that
He's
you
been
are.
a couple of bars, Mark.
Oh, okay.
You're missing out.
Well, I must be. So he must have been dressed incognito or something. I didn't see him. Anyway, but it's certainly good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Chairman. I appreciate that.
All right, now we've got on to the ordinance. An ordinance 2416 is an ordinance to be known as the Safe Neighborhood Ordinance, amending the Hendersonville Municipal Code, Title 15, Motor Vehicles, Traffic and Parking, Chapter 3, speed limits, to review and address speed limits, particularly in the residential areas of the city of Hendersonville. And I need a motion. Second. Okay, and there's been a proper motion, proper second discussion. Eddie.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Alderman Martin. One of the complaints that I'm hearing more and more of is speeding in neighborhoods. Actually, I want to talk about the default and the de facto speed limits in neighborhoods. The default speed limit today, when signs are not posted, is 30 miles an hour. But the default speed limit in most all of the new subdivisions is 25. And I've had citizens come to me and say, where's the equity that new neighborhoods get a slower speed through their neighborhoods than we do? I can't answer that equity question. In fact, in Mansker, you live in Mansker, Mansker is 30 miles an hour
Yeah,
on the speed limit.
but everybody thinks it's 50.
Well, and so what this ordinance is doing, and I have an amendment that I would like for you to consider as part of this.
All right.
I think Sarah's got a copy, Lance and Jesse. So not only do I want to reduce the default speed limit to what the de facto speed limit is, 25 miles an hour, just as Nashville has done. Nashville has taken this action. So I think it is a trend, but if we can slow traffic down in our neighborhoods where people are walking their children, walking their dogs, if we can speed them down 5 miles an hour, I think it's a worthy gesture to try to make our neighborhoods safer. So what this does, with the amendment, and let's see, I'll move, so you've got a motion to amend with the language that I have submitted, and I'll explain it after we get a,
Second.
okay.
Okay, there's been a proper motion and a proper second, now discussion.
Okay, so
On the
we've got to do more than just change the default speed limit from 30 to 25. So what this amendment does, it adds a couple of whereases. And I said, whereas the transportation plan for Hendersonville city roads are characterized by 3 different types of roads. Arterial, those are the main roads. That's like Main Street, and Indian Lake. Arterial, connector, and local streets. The second whereas, I say city local streets are most closely identified as within residential neighborhoods. So then I go to the resolve section, and I state in a new section 2, city residential local speed limit shall be no more than 25 miles an hour. That is limited to the residential local streets. That's not everywhere in the city. That's just the residential local streets as identified, and it can be explained where those are. Mainly they are in residential neighborhoods. And in section 3, I've instructed the Public Works Department shall replace existing speed limit signs on residential local streets in the city that exceed the default speed limit of 25 with a new 25 miles an hour sign in accordance with section 5. Now, all of this doesn't take place until the mid-year budget to determine where those speed limit signs are and put forward a fiscal note at the mid-year budget. And then 30 days after the mid-year budget is approved, then the implementation of these new speed limits will go into effect. So again, it's designed to try to reduce the overall speed in neighborhoods where residents are walking their children, are walking with their children, jogging and walking their pets. And Nashville has done this, and I think it's a good thing to copy. Now, is it a fix-all to speeding in neighborhoods? No, because it's going to require enforcement. Now, if you look on section, it'll be the new section 6, the last one in the ordinance. It says the city public information officer, that's Casey and her big staff, and other applicable staff are directed to communicate and inform the public of these changes. So not only are we doing it, but we're directing the staff through this legislation to inform, and we're going to have plenty of time to do it. We're going to have several months to implement this this new safe neighborhoods ordinance. So I'm available for any questions.
So the community is going to get a quality notice.
Yes, they will get plenty of notice. And
All right, so section 1 remains the same. Section 2,
it's a new
it's
section.
not getting replaced.
Section 2 is moving down one. Is
Okay,
moving.
That becomes section 3.
Yeah. So I'm adding section 2 and section 3, and all the other subsequent sections are moving down.
So that becomes 4 and 5. All right,
Yes. And the last one will be section 6.
gotcha.
Yes. So all of them. So questions or?
Go ahead, sure, yes, ma'am.
Amy, do you have any estimate on what the cost would be for replacing this traffic sign? Sorry for that.
Well, Davidson County, when they did it, Mayor Cooper did it when he was mayor. Subject to check, I believe it was $250,000 for Davidson County. So it'll be way, way, way south of that. Maybe staff has an estimate of what that would be. And I'm not, this ordinance is not saying put up more signs. It's just saying in these certain designated residential local streets where the signs are 30 or 35 miles an hour, they're going to be reduced to 25. So
A very high level estimate that we've looked at is right around 160,000. And that's assuming some posts being replaced as well, because inevitably there are posts that need to be replaced while we're out there.
Yes.
And that's included in our mid-year budget adjustment.
yes, we'll be able to vote for that appropriation.
Alderman
Thank you.
Bidwell?
Yes, thank you very much. This sounds like a safety feature that we're trying to do for the city. Are there any grants or funds available regarding safety,
That's a good question.
safety improvements within the city? Highway department, DOT, ARPA funds, in fact?
I doubt ARPA funds. There's some safety grants out there that are sort of open-ended, but I haven't seen any for reducing the speed limit. But I may not see those because somebody might have applied for them and got them in another
Right.
city. It does not sound, I'm sort of looking at it.
Yeah. I'm not aware of any
Okay,
grants
all
that
right.
would be applicable to change that.
But I mean, it's something we can keep on the radar. Our insurance provider often offers some grants up for safety issues.
That's what I was
So
aware of.
we
Yeah,
might-
Lots of them do.
we might see if there's something like that we can avail ourselves to. The
Who's our
federal
insurance provider again?
public entity partners,
Public entity partners, yes. Thank you.
that would probably be the most likely form of a grant through them.
I can ask Keith Free. He would know what's going on. He would know about the grants that we didn't get through
Sure.
GNRC.
Okay,
He would have heard something about this. There might be something out there.
okay, great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Have you been talking with NDOT? Do we have contacted NDOT? We can ask.
All I've seen are news releases from, and they're saying it is a very successful program. In fact, they are now looking at a pilot project for connectors, which is the next larger road
Yeah.
that connects the local streets. So they're expanding it in Metro because they have a lot of deaths. I mean, there was just a death on the street in Nashville.
Yeah.
I think the last week.
Yeah, on the roundabout. That big one.
Yeah. So, they're doing what they can and my goodness, if we can take some preventative actions and slow people down in massacre farms, and slow people down in our neighborhoods, I just see it as a win-win.
I was talking, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jay. Okay, thank you. We lived on Cumberland Shores in Ward 1 down there, and that is the bypass road between Harbor to Walton Ferry. And there were only 2 times a day we were nervous about all of our 4 boys playing in the streets. They shouldn't be, but boys will be boys. And it was AM rush hour and PM rush hour. And those are the only 2 times a day we were worried about that. They would get out on the roads and there was people fly down that road. Thank you. Thank you all.
Oh, I was just gonna say, my whole point to this was unmarked roads. So if the unmarked roads are gonna go from default 30 to default 25, to those people that frequent those roads, are they gonna know it, that type of thing? And or since you're now gonna make it uniform across the city of all residential's going 25, obviously that's better because it's equal.
Yeah.
So there's no guessing.
Yeah.
So to the point of spending 160,000, so I assume most of that money is signage. Do the roads that are not marked now, will they get a sign?
Well, that's a good question. And the new section 4, it was the old section 2, authorizes the Public Works Department is authorized to take other traffic calming measures according to best practices and measures to address excessive speeds. So Jay, Public Works has the authority in this legislation to identify those streets where there are no signs that may need to. I mean, if we start getting a lot of complaints that, hey, well, there's no speed limit sign. Well, Public Works is authorized to.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from, is for awareness and to make it uniform. So it sounds like you guys are covering both angles.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion on the amendments first? Does anybody need the amendments repeated? And what I'll do, if there's no objection, we will insert the paperwork that Alderman Roberson has attached here to the ordinance, and then you all on second reading, if you would please, with the proper language put in here as it's voted on, if it passes tonight, which I'm assuming it will.
Just one last thing.
Yes.
In order to make sure that we're transparent with this, I intend to take this to the Public Safety Committee in 2 weeks
Okay.
to get their input and to listen to the police chief and all of that. So if we approve this, then I intend to take it to Public Safety in 2 weeks, and then I intend to bring it to the board in 2 weeks.
Okay, so we, thank you for telling us that. So in essence, this will be the last time that we see this until we get it at the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. But I do know that with what you said, Public Safety will be seeing it again as well. So make sure that these amendments are in there.
Yeah.
We'll be looking, the committee will be looking to see whether they're in there on first reading it for Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Mayor, do you have any questions or comments on this?
Appreciate you asking.
Oh, okay, you're good? Okay, good deal. City Attorney, you reviewed it, looks good?
Looks good to me, yeah.
All right, okay, good deal. Jesse, how about you? Everything good? Anybody else? Okay, we're primo. We're gonna go ahead and vote on the amendments first. If there's no discussion, any more further discussion, we know what we're gonna do about placing it in the ordinance. And if there's no objection with that, we'll have the staff do that. Since there's no objection to that, we'll do that. But all in favor, and we'll just vote as it is, the piece of paper that it's been written on instead of each one, because it will be here all, 45 more minutes, and I don't think it's necessary to do that. It's very well written out and it's self-explanatory. So all in favor of the amendments being placed in ordinance 2024-16 signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, passes unanimously on the amendments. Now we are on with the amendments in place on ordinance 2024-16 discussion. Any further discussion on that ordinance with the amendments attached to it? Anybody else? Nope, nobody. Mayor, you're good. All right.
I'm reading about composting, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I just, you're the kind of guy that can multitask very well, so that you can read what's happening in Nashville. As far as I'm concerned, you know what's going on. So thank you for letting us know. Okay, all in favor of the ordinance 2024-16 signify, since there's no discussion, any further discussion on the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, it passes unanimously. Now, this will be going to public safety, and then once it is entertained there, regardless of whether it passes in public safety or not, it still goes to the board because we've recommended approval. Yeah, we've made the recommendation. Now, I'm assuming it'll pass though.
I'm assuming, but if they do bring up a matter that I think is important, I may bring it back to this committee.
Okay, but I want,
But if it's approved in toto,
right,
then I'll probably I will just take it up to the board.
all right, okay, but I wanted to let you know that regardless of what they do, as far as I'm concerned, it's going to the big
Yes,
board.
in 2 weeks.
Right.
Yes.
So, wanted to let you know that. Okay, so we've passed that now, the ordinance on to the next one. We've got a reading of the resolution of 2024-35, a resolution accepting and dedication of the completed streets in Durham Farms, Phase 2, Section 27. Need a motion.
Motion.
Okay, there's been a motion, second, any discussion, hearing none. Is everyone ready to vote? All in favor of resolution 24-35, a resolution accepting dedication of the streets of Durham Farms, Phase 2, Section 27 in Hendersonville, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, passes unanimously.
I think it's all be one.
Second is sponsors, Alderman Roberson is a reading resolution 2436. It's a resolution accepting dedication of the completed streets of Durham Farms Phase 3, Sections 30 and 32 in Hendersonville. I need a motion.
So
Second.
Proper motion is second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Is everybody ready to vote? All in favor of the resolution in 2436, a resolution accepting dedication of the streets in Durham Farms of Phase 3 and Sections 30 and 32 in Hendersonville, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, it passes unanimously. Okay. Number 4, another resolution, 2437, a resolution accepting the dedication of the completed streets in Durham Farms, but it's Phase 4, Section 35A in Hendersonville. Need a motion.
Motion. Second.
Okay, there's been a proper motion, a second, any discussion, hearing none. Is everyone ready to vote? All in favor of resolution 2437, which is accepting dedication of the streets of Durham Farms, Phase 4, Section 35A in Hendersonville, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes unanimously.
Sold.
All right. Yeah,
That was a
we're
good auction.
rocking and rolling, man. Okay. Yeah, street dedications are pretty ones that, yeah, they're fine to do. So, great. So we've completed almost all of our agenda. Now we're on to other agenda items, and let's the next thing to talk about is the trash collection update.
Yeah, so as I shared last month, we're still doing much better than the first month under this contract. Every day of the last month has been less than 16, with many days being less than 10 reported misses. And that's not just, it's only reported, so
Right.
unverified whether they're true or not. So it's been going very well. That's less than 1% of the total house count.
Nice.
Haven't received any.
You have not? That's good. Have you had any?
During this period of time, no, not during this period of time. So,
Good job.
Good. Well, that's good. I only had one, somebody, when I was, I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about this at a public meeting, but when I was going door to door, I had somebody talk to me that said that I honestly, and I told him, I said, brother, I don't remember you calling, but he goes, well, apparently you did something. So I said, well, thanks. But I think what happened was they missed it, but they came back and picked it up. The guy must have known that he missed it. And, the worker, but that was the only time that I had anybody question me about the trash pickup. So,
I have, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
I correct myself.
All
I
right.
did receive some complaints in Durham Farms.
Okay.
And I instructed them to go online and file. That's the best way, isn't it?
It is, yes,
Even better than calling an alderman.
absolutely.
Call the mayor as
That's the
well.
response from Waste Pro for sure.
Thank you.
That's all.
all right.
Yeah.
I will just say, as well as, your comment, Alderman Skidmore, there are two separate trucks that run. There's
I
a
see.
truck for curbside and there's a truck for backdoor, and so it has taken people some time. They think they've been missed because they saw a truck go
I bet
through,
that's what happened.
but maybe they're, the other truck. And so
Yeah.
I think people are starting to adjust to that as well,
Yeah.
but that could be.
That could have been it right there.
So I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
Creatively, the staff put in the contract that you can put grass clippings in the garbage now, as long as they're bagged, I believe. So how has that affected our grass pickup? I mean, have we seen a decrease in, picking up grass in the bags that we run every Monday or Tuesday?
I don't believe that we've seen a notable change so far. Now that may change as we continue to move forward. There may be some reduction, but I think a lot of people have become ingrained to put their clippings in the grass bags, and so putting them in plastic has raised some concerns from some people.
Okay, just a question.
Okay, any other dealing with trash collection, anybody? Alderman?
No, sir.
No?
Only no complaints, only
Compliments?
compliments, that's it, yes.
Great.
No complaints is a compliment.
Yeah,
Yes,
right?
that's right. Okay.
Sure.
Would you send a few of them?
You're looking good, Mr. Brothers.
They're tough, boys. Let me tell you some of the vocabulary that I've heard across my phone have been interesting words that I didn't even use as a young man, or that I do use now. And
Genetics.
yeah, that's right. So I just like, wow, that's an interesting one that's left, but they're getting fewer. They're fewer. Let's go on to light synchronization. Did we got a verbal update on anything with that?
Yes, we had finally received our notice to proceed to right-of-way for this project.
Okay.
Now, there is no right-of-way acquisition or needed easements for the project, but we still have to go through this phase. And so there's some documents that we have to provide. So those are in progress right now. I would anticipate those being submitted next week. And then we will have additional documents to provide for construction, of course. But we are moving forward.
Okay, and we're pretty much on time with everything so far. Everything's a go there.
Right now, yes.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate any problems with right-of-way?
No.
The application of right-of-way?
I don't. No, I don't anticipate any issues right away.
You want to bet on it?
No.
Right.
I have no control over the outcome, so no. But no, I don't anticipate any issues.
All right, well, we're moving right along. Doing perfect. Okay, now we're under other business, and we have one that is wanting to speak about other business, but before Alderman Bergdorf speaks, I'll entertain any questions from the committee first. Do we have any other business?
I've had a suggestion. I'd like for the staff to look at, public works staff. At the corner of Stop 30 and Drake's Creek, if you are coming down Drake's Creek toward Indian Lake, okay, and you turn right on Stop 30, there is a deep ravine there, and there is an abutment of the bridge. Now, we painted it red, but I've had complaints that several times people have come close to hitting the abutment, and would staff just look at, I know that we're getting ready to do work there.
Yeah.
And if not in my life, then in the next. But I would like for there to be a safety evaluation of that right turn.
Okay.
I've had someone from Lawson Point ask me about that.
We'll take a look.
Thank you.
Anybody else? You got anything? Are you good? All right. So far, I've been blessed so far. before Bergdorf, Alderman Dixon, do you have anybody come to you for anything?
I'm good. I mean, yeah, but.
But you gotta take care of, right? That's the kind of Alderman she is. All right, now, I like that. Okay, Alderman Bergdorf, the floor is yours, sir.
Oh, thank you, Chairman. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the opportunity to come together and talk to you. As I'm going out in the neighborhood, I'm knocking doors and I'm going up and down roads in particular that constituents of mine are complaining of. They say are dangerous. In fact, the one that they call is Riverwood, the 200 block, is it needs some attention. It really looks like it does. The constituent lives on Marcel, I believe his name, correct? And he said his wife's tire went flat due to hitting a hole on Riverwood. So that's a.
Did you look at it? Did you see
I
it?
did not. I took the constituent at his word.
No, that's good.
No,
that's
the
good.
road. You're
Yeah.
talking about the road?
Yeah.
I did see the road. I traveled the road.
Well, I was thinking you saw it.
You see the flat tire?
No, I didn't see the flat tire. I didn't know we were doing an insurance audit on this.
Okay.
Absolutely. I fell in it while I was walking. Riverwood, 200 block, if you take a look at that.
Sure will.
There's another, as I was going down McBratney, I had a constituent, note that they got new road and they're very grateful of the new road on McBratney.
Yeah.
The only concern that they have is the apron, and we've discussed that with Sarah and Trace, and he's addressed it. But I just want to make sure we follow up with that because it appears that it is a little bit, it's not the same as the others. The apron's a little bit different. I looked at it, I took some pictures. It's just not the same as some of the others on the road. And so she would like us to take another look at that if we could, to 103 McBratney. Okay. And then the last one is I had a constituent ask if Lot 3 road is ours or does it belong to the Corps of Engineers?
I believe that would be ours. But I have to confirm it.
Okay. So, and if it is, I always did too. Yeah. So if it is, can we take a look at that as well? There are speed bumps on that road and half of the speed bumps are gone. Half of them are present. It looks like it's been, like we thought, a Corps of Engineers road for all these years. So if we can address that, I sure would appreciate it. And those are the only 2, 3. Oh, LaGrange. That was the only other one. LaGrange. Please take a look at LaGrange.
The road.
The road, LaGrange, yes.
All right.
It's a connector to La Plaza. I believe La Plaza was paved and looks good and is smooth. So the folks on LaGrange want to know if we can get them on the list. They do.
All right.
You surprised, right? Okay.
Okay, I got the email on Bratney. Because that was Jack and Rose's road. So I was trying, where they used to live, and so I was trying to think of, but I knew the box or the house that's in question. It's right up there at the front.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so, but I think that Trace is already looking at that, but we can double check and see.
He is, and he's
Yes.
replied by email.
Oh,
If
okay.
we can just take another gander at it. I told them that I would bring it to the public works.
Sure, that's fine. We'll double check on that. Okay, Riverwood and Marcel, and then LaGrange off of Plaza. Okay, and the 200 block of Riverwood. Okay, we got that. All right. Are there anybody else? The roads are looking good. You know, what I've seen a lot of them too. They're looking good, and you know, I had one guy call me and said that they were waiting on the milling of the road, and it had been milled for a while, and they were wondering when it was gonna. Yeah, they were gonna do that. I had that, and I told them they would get there, you know, as soon as possible. They probably had somewhere they had to pull up and go. You know, there was an emergency somewhere, or they had, you know, TDOT could have requested, or, you know how those things work with, when you're milling roads. That's a tough work on those guys. So, he understood, and that was good enough. I mean, it was good enough to keep the wolves at bay for a while, and if they don't hurry up and get there, then we'll come in back and entertain the discussion on that. But I think, I mean, normally when we've had roads that are milled in in Hendersonville, sometimes it does take a while for them to get done, but when they get on them, they get on them. So we're really lucky to have that happening. And so that's my only comment on that. Is there any other discussion dealing with Public Works this evening until next month? All right, then, Mayor, are you good?
I'm happy to talk about compost. We can wait till after we adjourn.
I'm sure. Okay. All right, good. We'll do that then. So I need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, we got it. We're adjourned at 6:36.